Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the fourth video of playlist for making a smartphone store website. In this video, we will continue for making the smartphone store website. Here, I already open up my MongoDB Atlas, so you can go and open it and log in with your Google or with your GitHub. Next, I will make a new project. Here we will write our database name, and I will name it as smartphone store database. Click next. This add member and set permission is for giving someone some access. So if you have some team, you can add it in here. I will create project. Still loading. Now for the creating the project is done, we can create or build a new database. Click this button, and I will just select the free one because this is just for learning. Just ignore other setting and just click create cluster. It will create a new cluster for us, but I will pass this robot question first. Now if you have clicked the button, you will redirect it to here, the security quick start. I will set the username and password for this database. For the username, I will just say admin, and password is also admin. Now, in the add entry to your IP access list, you just wrote 0.0.0.0. This will allow all IP address. Or if you want to add your own and you do not want to give access to others' IP, you can add some specific IP here or add my current IP address. Now I forgot to create the user, and the last one is finish and close. It will automatically create a new cluster for us. It usually will take 1 to 2 minutes to build, so you just have to wait. Wow, this one is fast, but I think it is still loading. Now if your database is already created, you can click this one, the connect button, and click the connect your application. You will see some URL to connect with your MongoDB database. Now copy it and close. Now for the MongoDB setup is done, we can go to our VS Code. In here, you can create a new file with a name is equal to .env and create a new variable in there. I can create a Mongo underline URL is equal to the URL you have been copied. In here, the password is admin. So you have to change the password into your user password. Now for the .env is done, we can make a new MongoDB connection. We can create a new folder called utils. Inside of that, we will have a mongo.js. But before we create the connection code, we will go to terminal and then install the Mongoose CLS to clear all of this, and then yarn add Mongoose. You can also use the npm by typing npm install and then what package you want to install. But in this case, I will just use yarn. I will wait the loading. Now the installation is done. I can go to my Chrome and I will put this link in the description. You can copy the code from here. I will copy raw content, paste it here, control save. I will change this MongoDB URI to Mongo, or I can just copy it from the .env and paste it here. Now the connection is done. We can make a new schema or model for our MongoDB database. To do that, go to the root folder and make a new folder called model. Inside of it, we will have two models. The first one is orders and the second one is product. Order.js, order.js, and product.js. We will make the product.js for the first. In here, we can import the mongoose from mongoose. Now, to make the schema, we use the cons and then product schema equal to new mongoose.schema. I will put the parentheses, and inside of that, we will have a curly brace. Now we are going to type the column of the schema. The first one is title. The title is going to have type equal to string and required is equal to true, and for the max length is equal to 16. 60. We put comma in that. So this code is we are going to make a column inside of the product schema, and that is title. This title column is going to have type equal to strings, and for required is equal to true, and for the max line is 70. So this column is must be filled. If it's not, it will error or not going to be inserted to the database. The next one is description. Type is string, required is equal to true, and max length is equal to 1000. Next is image or img is equal to type is string, and for the required is true. Next is price is equal to type is number, and required is true. I forgot to comma in here. Now below of this first curly brace, I will make a new one. Inside of it, we will have a timestamp equal to true. So it will make a new timestamp column. Now for making for inserting the schema is we're going to use export default mongoose.model.product or mongoose.model, then product, product schema. Save it. Now we are done with the product.js. We can next making the order.js or making the order schema. Inside of here, it is similar to the product.js. We can import a mongoose from mongoose. And for the cons, it's going to be order schema equal to new mongoose.schema. And inside of this parenthesis, it will have a curly brace. The first field is customer. Customer is equal to type is string, required is true, max required is true, max length is 16, 60, and for the and the next one is address. Type is equal to string, comma required is true, comma max length is equal to 200. And don't forget, this max length L is lowercase, not uppercase. This one is length. Next one is going to be the status. So the status is it will show the status of the package, if it is packaging, on delivery, or done or delivered. For the status is going to have type equal to number, comma required is true, and also before the status we have the wait a second before the status we have the total. This total is going to have type equal to number and required is equal to true. And for the last one is method. So it is cash on delivery or using PayPal or other payment method. For the type is going to be a number and the required is true. Also same like the product, we will give a new one here and I will give it for the timestamp. Timestamp is equal to true. True. Below that, we will export the same thing. Export default from default mongoose.models. This one is models.order or mongoose.model order, order schema. Now we are done with making the order and product schema. So we have already done for making the order and product model. Now we can make the API. Go to the page and inside of this API, we'll just delete this hello.js. Inside of it, we will have two API. The first one is orders and the second one is product. So we are making it as a folder because inside of each of this category or each of this folder is going to have more than one API. For example, the product. In the product, we can make a new index.js file. So in here, we are going to create or typing the API code. We can import a DB Connect from DB Connect from /////util/mongo. But I was wondering, oh, okay. So this is importing the DB connection. So every time we are going to use or we want to connect with the MongoDB database, we have to import this. Next one we are going to import is import product from ///model/product. But this one is uppercase P, not lowercase p. So in here we already import two. The first one is the connection and the second one is the model. We can make a new async function. Export default async function handler, and for the parameter is going to be rect, and the rest inside of that we will have the now inside of this export default async function is going to be, we are going to make a new variable with a cons is equal to method comma method is equal to rec. I will give a semicolon in there. Below that we will have the DB Connect function. So we are going to connect with a database, and we are going to have two if. The first one is if the method is equal to get, it will do something, and if the method is equal to pass, it will do something. So if it is pass, it will check. I will just write a try and catch block. Wait a second, try and catch. If it is error, it will console log the error, and if it's not, it will create a new data. So in the try, cons product is equal to await product dot create dot rect, inside of that rect dot body, and I will use the Postman to demonstrate it. If you don't have, you can install it, and also I will give in the code some, I will use direct stress dot status 201. The JSON is product, and for the error it will rest dot status, and it is 500. So this is going to give the error. Now let's open up the Postman. So in here I already have my own URL. Not my own. So this is the server. This is the server of the website, and this is the page. Now let's send it up, but before that we will go to body and then write this. The title is just test. The title is test 1. The IMG is smartphone 1. Description is description 1. And price is 12. Let's send it up. That is icon refuse. Oh yes, I forgot to start the server. So go to your terminal and then type yarn dev. It will start the server. First, start the server before testing anything out. Now the server is already running. We can try to send it again. Click send. Still waiting. There's a 500 internal server error. Let's see in the VS Code. In here, we don't get anything. How about clicking again? Here. So there's some internal server error. And but you look at that, this is 201 created. Now you can go to your MongoDB Atlas. Now you can go to the browse collection. You should see a new schema and a new data. And here we have the test and the product schema, and here we are. We have the data of what we inserted in the Postman. Now this is working. We can next for making the let's make for the get. So we are already creating for the post, but we are not yet creating for the get. So we are going to do the same way. We are just going to have a try catch block, and for this one is res.status 500 and then .json error. And for the try, if it's successfully, it will const products equal to await product.find, and then res status is equal to 200 and .json products. So this means it will search a data in a product, but the search is just empty. So it will automatically get all data. After we are creating this product API, we will connect it to our website or to our UI. I will go to the index, but in a page here I will write a new function for connecting this file to our API. For that, we are going to make a new function below this export default function. It will export const get server side props. So this function is going to retrieve or get a server side props or the server side data. It will ctx and then it will something like this. Now for the cons is equal to res. For the cons, res is equal to await axios dot get, and we will copy the URL in here. We will copy, but for this one is post, but in the script we are going to use as the get method. Below that we'll have a return. The return is equal to props and then smartphone list is equal to res.data. But before we run it or continue, we have to add a new package called axios. So in here, yarn add axios. As I said before, you can use npm also, but in this case, I use the yarn. So now the installation is done. We can continue making the connection. We already have the function for get the server side props. Now we just have to use this function in here. Now, in the home function, we can add a new props called smartphone list. In here, we can pass the data like this. Smartphone list, we'll copy this one. Smartphone list is equal to smartphone list. We'll close that up first. Now, go to the smartphone list. Smartphone list. Instead of copy it one by one manually, we will use the mapping function. So in here, I will just cut it and make a new map. Here, this one is going to be smartphone list.map, and that was smartphone I is equal to a parenthesis, not the curly brace, because we want to instantly return something, and then pass the smartphone card here. We're going to give the key is equal to, I'm sorry, so we don't need this I. This key is equal to smartphone.id, ID underline and then ID, and for the smartphone is equal to smartphone. And here we are going to add a new props called smartphone list. And also this one is not uppercase, this one is lowercase. And this one is also. Go to the smartphone card, we will add a dynamic data in here. You can add in here item, smartphone, and for the image is equal to smartphone dot img, and for this one we are going to replace this code with the symbol so that we can use the variable of the React. And also we are going to wrap this on curly brace product slash, and here we are going to write a $sign and then curly brace again. Here smartphone dot underline ID. And for the title, it's going to be dynamic too. It will be smartphone dot name, title dot title, and for the price, it's going to be smartphone dot price, and for the description, it's going to be smartphone dot description. Now let's see how it looks in a website. Go to your Chrome. We get some error here. Let me see. Smartphone list dot map. Here we have the variable. So I found the problem. There's in here in the server side. It must be a uppercase S, and I have to import the Axios from Axios. Now let's try it. Go to here, refresh it. So I just found the problem. There is in index.js, you have to make a new try catch block, and then you put the if get and post inside of the try, and give an await to the DB connect. The next one, is in here in a smartphone card. You have to wrap this smartphone in a curly brace. Now, if you go to the website, it will works. If I refresh it, it will also work perfectly. And I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.